So, what if the next developer your company hires wasn't a person at all? What if it was an AI that you built yourself with absolutely no code required? That's the really radical idea behind Google's latest launch, a tool that aims to put an AI developer inside every single employee. And yeah, it could change how we work forever.
Just imagine that for a second. No coding boot camps, no bugging the IT department. You just describe what you want. You say, hey, whenever I get an email from a VIP client, I want you to create a summary, pop it into our project tracker, and then ping the team. And poof, it just works. That's the dream they're selling here.
And this is the tool that's supposed to make it all happen. Google Workspace Studio. It's a no-code platform that's really designed to democratize AI, letting basically anyone build these custom assistants, or as Google is calling them, AI agents.
So what exactly is an AI agent? We got to be clear on this. Think way beyond simple automation, okay? An agent doesn't just follow a strict set of rules. It's meant to reason, to understand the context of your work, and handle these really complex, multi-step projects from beginning to end.
And the results from the early testers? They're pretty staggering. Take the cleaning company, Karcher. They use these agents to automate their product planning and cut their manual work time by up to 90%. I mean, what used to take them hours now takes just minutes. That's not just an improvement, that's a total game changer.
And get this isn't some tiny niche experiment. Even before it was launched to the public, users in the alpha program had these agents perform over 20 million tasks, and that was in just 30 days. So yeah, the demand is clearly massive.
But to really get why this launch is such a big deal, we need to zoom out a bit. This isn't just about a cool new tool. It's the latest shot fired in the long-running war for control of your digital life at work.
For years, it's been the same old story, right? Google Workspace versus Microsoft 365. And with AI, that battle has hit a total fever pitch. Workspace Studio is Google's big strategic play to try and redefine productivity and maybe, just maybe, pull ahead. And what's really fascinating is how this whole battle plays out with actual users. On one side, you have people like this Reddit user who basically say that Google's cloud-native, simple approach makes Microsoft feel like it's a relic from the dark ages. But then, for every person who says that, you've got the complete opposite view. Users like this one argue that as companies get bigger and their needs get more complex, they start hitting the walls of Google's simplicity and need the super robust enterprise-grade features that are already solved problems in the Microsoft ecosystem. So it really boils down to this classic trade-off. Do you want Google's clean simplicity and what many say is better cloud collaboration, or do you need Microsoft's incredibly deep feature set and its tight enterprise controls? Workspace Studio is basically Google's attempt to give you both. Simplicity on the front end, but with real enterprise-level power underneath.
So how is Google even pulling this off? What's the magic under the hood that's driving these new AI agents? Well, it all comes down to their most advanced AI model yet.
Meet Gemini 3. And this isn't just a small update. It's got way more advanced reasoning and planning, and, this is key, it's natively multimodal. That's just a fancy way of saying it understands text, images, video, and code all at the same time seamlessly. This ability to understand and use different tools is what makes these agents so potentially powerful.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The head of AI at Replit calls it a major leap forward. And he points to the exact same thing. It can follow complex instructions and reliably use other tools. And that's exactly what you need to build an AI that's actually, helpful.
But this is where our story takes a pretty sharp turn. Because putting this much power into everyone's hands, well, it comes with a huge, flashing warning sign. This is where the promise meets the peril. So, let's just ask the big, critical question. What really happens when every single person in your company can suddenly become an AI developer, building their own autonomous agents?
All of a sudden, you are staring down a governance nightmare. I mean, who's keeping track of these things? What happens when the person who built a critical agent just leaves the company? And the biggest question of all, how in the world do you stop hundreds of these little bots from accidentally leaking sensitive customer data or violating major compliance laws? This is where a concept called data loss prevention, or DLP, becomes absolutely mission critical. It's a set of tools and rules designed to be a safety net to stop sensitive info like customer data or your company's secret sauce from going where it shouldn't.
In Google Workspace, it's actually pretty straightforward. It works in 3 steps. First, you define who the rule applies to. Then you set a condition, like, hey, scan for anything that looks like a credit card number. And finally, you choose an action, like flat out blocking the share or just giving the user a warning.
But here is the catch, the critical flaw. Traditional DLP was built to monitor humans sharing files, which is a pretty predictable and often slow process. It was not built for a world where thousands of autonomous AI agents can access and share data in milliseconds. That creates an entirely new and, frankly, exponential level of risk.
And that brings us right up to launch day, where the immense promise of all this technology crashed headfirst into some messy, messy reality.
This was the message that greeted tons of excited users. Not some cool welcome screen, but a digital bouncer telling the club was full. It seems Google wasn't quite ready for the tidal wave of people who wanted in.
So the reality on launch day? Widespread outages. Agents just wouldn't run. Some of the core Gemini features were just flat out unavailable. It got so bad that Google had to temporarily restrict access because of what they called overwhelming interest.
And this just perfectly captures the central challenge of our current AI moment, doesn't it? There's this massive gap between the incredible promise we see in all the slick demos and the immense difficulty of actually delivering that power reliably and, more importantly, safely to millions of users. So we're left with this huge final question. By handing over the keys to AI automation to literally every employee, are we building this incredibly efficient new future, or are we just creating a kind of chaos that we won't be able to control? The answer? Well, it's probably a little bit of both.